Have you been struggling to get more listings as a commercial real estate agent? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna give you my best hacks as to how to generate more listings as a commercial realtor. And before we dive into the video, I want to bring up something that really hit home for me recently. So I was reading a book from Ed Mylett called The Power of One More. Fantastic book. I think you should go ahead and go get it. It's a great book. And what I want to let you know is I felt like it had so much to do with the success in the real estate world. I kind of wanted to make a video about it here. So that is what the foundation of this video is all about. It's just the power of one more. Because I want to show you how just the power of one more X, right? Because I got a bunch of these one mores here that you can do in your business. You're gonna see a massive amount of growth in the amount of listings that you generate. Let's start off with the power of one more when it comes to prospecting. With prospecting, there's the power of one more when it comes to a couple different aspects. Number one, if you're not tracking your data, I would say the power of just tracking your data so that you can figure out what one more looks like would be first and foremost. Once you actually have an idea of like how many calls a day are you making, how many hours a day are you prospecting, how many leads are you generating per day, we can start working with some of those numbers. Because what I would recommend is the first thing. And again, this is for a lot of these newer agents or even agents that feel like they're struggling to get more listings. I want to tell you this. If you're only prospecting an hour a day, you are going to map to a certain level of production. If your goal is to run a marathon, it's 26 miles without walking, without anything, okay? You want to be in good shape so you can run a marathon. You're not going to be able to do that by walking 10 steps a day. You're eventually going to have to start running a mile, 2, 7, 15 miles in a day. If the goal is to generate, let's say, one new listing each and every single week, as an example, you're not going to be able to do that if you're only prospecting for 30 minutes or an hour a day, or only having 5 or 10 conversations. We're talking about having dozens and dozens and dozens, if not 50 to 100 conversations a day, every day for a sustained period of time. Whatever amount of time that you're doing right now for prospecting, I would urge you for the next 30 days straight, do 1 extra hour a day of prospecting. And then you do that for 30 days straight. And then for the next 30 days, I'd urge you to do another full hour. And then you could do it for in the next 90 days. So by the end of the next 90 days, by the end of this year, because I'm recording this at the beginning of October, the goal here is that close to by the end of this year, by the end of 2023, you can be at a place where you're making more than an additional 3 hours a day of prospecting, which should get you to a point where you're having somewhere between 5 and 10 conversations an hour. So the power of one more when it comes to prospecting is going to be an extra hour, power of one more hour, and the power of just one more conversation. So we're going to try to push those two numbers up by bumping up the amount of hours that you're prospecting each and every single day. Point number 2 is follow-up. So when it comes to the power of one more, we're gonna focus on a few of the things we just mentioned. So the power of one more hour in follow-up. How many hours a day are you even spending on follow-up right now? How many minutes? Some of you might not even be doing follow-up at all. So if that is the case, we're gonna try to get you to a minimum of 1 hour a day. And if you're already doing 30 minutes or an hour a day, we're gonna try to get you to 2 hours a day. Try to add at least an extra 30 minutes for the next 30 days. And then the next 30 days, you can do an extra 30 and then an extra 30, right? So the point is that hopefully in the next 90 days, by the end of this year, we can get you to do a full 2 hours of follow-up on all the leads that you've been generating from all that prospecting. Because when you can get into a consistent routine and the power of just one more day of being consistent, if you can get into that kind of mindset, you are going to see great results. Just the power of one more when it comes to follow-up, we're going to say just a little bit more time. So 30 minutes to an hour extra, right? We'll start with the 30 minutes for the next 30 days, and we're going to put that into just your follow-up systems. Now, that's just the power of one more when it comes to time and the follow-up. Now we're going to do it for the amount of tasks you're actually doing. Take all of the leads that you need to follow up with, export them into an Excel sheet, and then upload them into a dialer like Mojo. And then you could do 100 dials in a matter of 2 hours pretty easily. Point number 3, the power of one more when it comes to scripting. This is specifically about your closing statement. So if you want to generate more listings, one of the biggest mistakes I see most real estate agents make is that they do not recite their closing statement over and over and over again, which is, would an afternoon or evening appointment be better for you? That's all you have to say. Now let's just say you're going from 20 conversations to 50 conversations a day. Kudos to you, giving you a round of applause, that's great. During those 50 conversations, let's just say that you're generating some good leads. Let's say you're generating 3, 5, now 10 leads a day. Okay, now on every single one of those leads generated, imagine if you just said the magical closing script of, so would an afternoon or evening appointment be better for you? Naturally, here our next step is to simply set an appointment. What works better for you, an afternoon or evening? If you're able to say this magical script, this closing script, which by the way, if you want to have these types of closing scripts in your tool belt, make sure you go in the description down below and check out my new and improved script book. Check that out, and it's absolutely free, check it out. Track the amount of times you're saying that script. Because if you can just say, for the power of one more, if you can just say it one extra time per day, that's 30 times a month. That means you're probably gonna end up setting a number of more appointments than you typically would, or if you're not saying that closing statement. For just the next 30 days, I urge you to just say it once extra per day. And then I urge you to say it, and maybe can you do it 2 or 3 or 4 more times? And then hopefully in the next 90 days, we can get you to saying it at a minimum 5 or 10 times a day. Because imagine if you're saying it 10 times a day for 20 prospecting days a month, that's 200 closing statements. You're probably gonna set a crazy amount of appointments. If you just make these few adjustments, we've even said, if we just stop the video now, if you just made these few adjustments, you'd already see a drastic increase in the amount of listing appointments that you set. Nonetheless, how many listings you can sign from those. Just keep this in mind. It's the power of one more when it comes to just saying the closing statement. Point number 4 is the power of one more when it comes to giving out X. Let me explain. Giving out an offer, giving out a valuation, or giving out some information. The power of one more is how many offers a day are you making? How many valuations are you sending out per day? How many pieces of information are you sending somebody, like market reports? How many of those are you doing every single day? The thing we're gonna talk about right now is that you're probably not doing enough. If you're kind of feeling right now like, hey, I'm not setting a lot of appointments or I'm not getting a lot of listings, it's because you're not doing one of these 3 things enough every day. The power of one more is just for the next 30 days, I urge you to just do 1 of each every day at a minimum. That's the goal. Because if you're at 0, let's just get you to 1. And then the next month it'll be 2 a day. And then the next month it could be 3 a day. But the point is, I just want you to build the habits here of just a little bit consistency with the power of one more. Part number 5 here is all about referrals. So the power of one more referral. Let me explain this. This is the give to get mentality. You want to be able to give 1 referral a day. Okay, so the power of one more. How many referrals are you giving out per day of another professional to somebody who's in need, right? This is talking about your partnership relationships that you have, right? You know, the inspectors, the attorneys, the lenders, any type of professional you work with who can refer you business. This is talking about your past clients and current clients. Can you call them up and refer them somebody they might need some support with so that you can go back and then ask them for a referral? So for the next 30 days, I just want you to build good rapport, right? You know, basically this is goodwill. You're building goodwill with these individuals. I want you to just spend the next 30 days just giving out a ton of referrals. Build the goodwill, build the goodwill, build the goodwill. So what's gonna happen here is that for the next 30 days, every day I want you to send out 1 referral. Give out at least 1 referral, power 1 more referral. So every day, 1. And then we're gonna try to get to 2, and we're gonna try to get to 3. And it's a lot easier when you just keep it top of mind here. And by the way, if they're not thinking about you and you've been referring them business, you can find somebody, I promise you can definitely find somebody who's similar to them. You're working with a lender and you refer them 3 people and they've never referred you somebody, you can find a lender who can refer you some business. I promise you that. Last but not least, number 6 is social media. Power of one more when it comes to social media. However many times you're posting on a weekly basis, you can just start with 1 extra post per week. And for those of you who think that social media is a scam, or it's no one actually follows people on social media, or you don't get business from social media, I can tell you I've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions from social media alone. So I'm here to show you that, like, number 1, you need to be doing it, because as you can see, like, think about how you came across my stuff from social media. Maybe we haven't done a deal yet, but it doesn't mean we won't in the future. Just focus on doing 1 extra post per week. And if you're already doing 3 or 4 posts per week, great. You can go to 4 or 5 or 6, right? Like whatever that next step is, you can do that. And if you're not posting at all, just try to get to 1 post a week on maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 platforms. You don't have to go crazy. And if 3 platforms sounds nuts, just do it on 1 platform. Choose 1. The point is, you want to get your foot in the door if you haven't started yet, and you want to get to the mental thoughts of the power of one more. You want to think about the next platform, like power of one more platform and you're posting on, or the power of 1 more post per week, or maybe you're doing a great job and you can do maybe 2 extra posts per week. So what I challenge you is this, depending on what your scale is. For the next 30 days, I just want you to think about this: 1 extra post per week. So whatever you're at, you're just going to do 1 extra post per week on 1 platform that you're on. Now, if you're absolutely killing it, you're knocking it out of the park, and you already have your social media going, I would urge you to go on to maybe 1 or 2 extra platforms. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from today, you could be in a completely different place with your social media presence. It's gonna feel natural. It's not gonna feel overwhelming, because we're starting small and we're just gonna stay consistent. Again, these are my 6 points of exactly how you can go out and generate more listings today, where I'm excited to see where we're gonna be in the next 90 days, because I'm telling you, this will pay off if you're just gonna be consistent. Use the power of one more to your advantage, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Ask any questions you have in the comment section down below. We answer every single comment, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, everyone. Take care.